You're watching TVC Breakfast. It is said that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
The art of documentary photography is one that aims to chronicle events or environments relevant to history and historical events. Our guest today, Dayo Adedayo, is a British-trained documentary photographer who has done a lot in capturing images of Nigeria, going around the country across its local governments in more than a decade.
Now, he has captured deserts, beautiful landscapes, springs, rivers, and from his archives of more than 4 million images, you can find any picture of Nigeria you want. He is credited with the pictures of Nigeria on the e-passport pages, as well as the picture on the 100 Naira note produced in 2014 to celebrate this centenary anniversary.
He was the official photographer for the event, and he has 9 books about Nigeria. We view Nigeria from the lens of Dayo Adedayo. Mike,
Wow.
I can go on watching
Wow.
that for as long as possible. Really, I can.
I think those pictures are another way of seeing Nigeria. That short clip
Absolutely.
now just give me another boost insight about the country Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And it
We have
just-
in the studio
Yeah.
British-trained documentary photographer, cultural anthropologist, and author Dayo Adedayo.
Good
In fact,
morning.
you deserve some rising ovation here, I must say.
Thank you.
Really interesting.
Thank you.
It's good to have you in our studio this morning.
Oh,
Good
thank
to have you
very
here.
much.
Now, when you see and watch all your pictures, of the millions of pictures you've snapped, and think back how you have come, what really goes through your mind these days? Let me start from there.
First, I will make a correction. I don't snap.
Oh, okay.
You document.
When you snap, there is not thinking behind it.
Oh.
So what I do is I create or make an image, because there's a lot of things that goes on in your brain before you do it. You snap and that's your finger, no thinking. But coming back to your question is, you never know where this journey will end when you start. I'll be lying to you if I say I know I'm going to be at this stage today. But this is what I've been doing all my life. And I give glory to the old man out there.
What inspired documenting pictures? What inspired it? One would want to ask, especially when it comes to documenting rather Nigeria, so to speak.
I started out as a social photographer. Then I ventured into freelance journalism, working with Salvation magazine, and I became the best photographer in Ovation, traveling all over the world. In the space of 5 years, I must have been to about 20 or more countries for Ovation. Then you get to a stage, you just get tired of hopping from plane from one side to the other. Then because I studied photography abroad, there is nothing like a pictorial book on Nigeria. And even as at today, if you still Google Nigeria images, you still don't get those things. What they show of Africa in the West is more of war, famine, hunger, the deprivation that you see in the society. But to me, I have to sit back. It's like someone that studied medicine and you see people dying and you can't do anything, you'll be helpless. So why should I study photography and not put that knowledge into marketing, promoting my country? This is the most beautiful country in the world.
Now, I like the word marketing and promoting your country. I wonder, take us through what you're doing or what you have done and how you have marketed Nigeria using these pictures, because they're really captivating.
I later ventured to be an author and a publisher because I self-publish all my work. And as of today, I've published 11 books. Thousands of books are all over the world. As I'm talking to you, several people seeing my book or books have traveled to Nigeria just to see some of those places. And the truth of the matter is, we can't leave everything to government. Imagine there is no TVC today and we only have NTA. What would be Nigeria? People are watching you across the globe as we are talking now. So the best we can do, like JFK said in the 60s, not ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So that is what is propelling me. I have no other country but Nigeria, and I remain a Nigerian, and as long as I'm on this blue planet, all I would do, eat, sleep, is Nigeria, and that is what is propelling me.
Interesting. So what has been the most striking experience or picture you have taken in all of your journeys through Nigeria?
The most interesting picture I've ever taken in the last 16 years was in Plateau State, Riom Rock. Unfortunately, I don't have that image here. I used it as the cover of my first book, titled Just Nigeria. And on top of the rock formation is this tiny rock, which has been there for millions of years. To me, that's a metaphor for Nigeria. Yes, we have our challenges. We can abuse each other from morning till night. At the end of the day, families do quarrel. That doesn't mean we're going to break apart and say, no, you're not my sister, you're not my brother, you're not my mother, you're not my father. And that rock, every time I look at that image, all I see is Nigeria itself. But like I said, Nigeria people are kind-hearted. I drove myself across the country, and the best example I can give you was in 2005 or 6, I'm not too sure now. I was coming from Kefi to Abuja around about 9 p.m., pitch darkness, and I lost 2 tires at the same time after 9 p.m. at night. And guess what? The first vehicle I flagged down, same car, same tire ring. The guy even helped me to change my tire. He gave me his own spare tire. I used my own spare tire as well. It was the one that changed the whole thing. And 10 minutes afterwards, there was this heavy downpour. So we just drove in a convoy to Abuja. And 10 minutes afterwards, there was this heavy downpour. So we just drove in a convoy to Abuja. That's Nigeria that I know. You know, I grew up in a village coming to Lagos City, and Nigeria is just too fantastic. What we need to do, what the leaders need to do is to celebrate the woman that is selling akara by the roadside. Not people you cannot lay, you do not see. The person that really should be celebrated most in Nigeria to me, I've never met him before in my life, is Okoya Eleganza. Look at the level of education and look at what he has been able to achieve. I don't look at money.
Touching lives every day.
Touching lives every day. How was he able to do all these things? Those are the people that needs to be celebrated, to be in the media space. Let the media also try as much as possible. There are too many positive things about this country. Nigeria is just a beautiful country. Everywhere you go in the world, Nigerians are doing very well. Everywhere you go to any corporate organizations in the world, Nigerians are doing fantastically well. You can't have many children and some will not, 1 or 2 will not give it. So we just have to. I said, out of every 12,
so
let's look at that.
Dayo Adedayo, thank you
Thank
so
you
much for
your
what
time.
you're doing for Nigeria, for what you're doing, because I understand it's not just Nigeria, you're also doing for Africa as well.
No, absolutely.
And thank you for what you're doing for Africa. And we like to commend you and inspire you to go ahead with it. And God will reward you certainly.
Absolutely.
All right, let's leave it here for now. There'll be time for us to talk more about some of the things you're doing and some of the challenges you face, and also how you're inspiring young people, other people who want to be like you. Thank you very much.
Yo, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. It is said that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
The art of documentary photography is one that aims to chronicle events or environments relevant to history and historical events. Our guest today, Dayo Adedayo, is a British-trained documentary photographer who has done a lot of capturing images of Nigeria going around the country across its local governments in more than a decade. He has captured deserts, beautiful landscapes, springs, rivers, and from his archives of more than 4 million images, you can find any picture of Nigeria you want.
Now, he's credited with the pictures of Nigeria on the e-passport pages, as well as the picture on the 100 Naira note produced in 2014 to celebrate the centenary anniversary. He was the official photographer for the event, and he has 9 books about Nigeria. We view Nigeria from the lens of Dayo Adedayo. We have with us in the studio a British-trained documentary photographer and cultural anthropologist and author, Dayo Adedayo. Nice to see you in the studio. You're welcome to TVC.
Thank you.
Right now, you have several books. One that I would like you to talk to us about briefly, just very briefly, is that Nigeria 2.0.
That's right.
Good. What is that book all about? What's the inspiration behind the book?
Nigeria 2.0.
Oh, 2.0, exactly.
Is the second edition of Nigeria. That was my 7th book. And 2.0 is just about the history of the country. You see the map of Nigeria, all the geopolitical zones. Unfortunately, I've sold out. Then you read about the founding fathers from Ahmadu Bello, Awolowo, Azikiwe, and the greatest of them all, the person that started the agitation for independence, who died in the process but never saw Nigeria gain independence. I've forgotten his name now.
Okay.
No. You should know.
Well, there are so many people who struggled and fought.
No. The first person.
Anthony Nahara?
No,
not
Nahara. Not a Nahara.
Oh, okay.
He was the president. He was the leader of NCNC. Azikiwe was the secretary. Oh my God.
Herbert Macaulay?
Herbert Macaulay.
Yeah.
God bless
I got it. I got it.
God bless you. Herbert Macaulay.
Yeah, he formed the first political party in Nigeria.
Then you see the history of Nigeria, the profile of Nigeria, then going through the monuments. And if I tell you the largest monument in Africa, the greatest man-made monument in the world is in Nigeria. Would you believe that?
Wow. Not even the Timbuktu that we have always heard about.
No. The greatest man-made monument ever built, which is 10 times greater than the Great Wall of China, is in Edo State.
Wow.
The moat.
No.
Is it?
The Great Wall.
Oh, the Great Wall.
Of Edo State. The moat is actually part of Shugmo Eredo,
okay, which
was dug over 2,000 years ago. You find all this in Nigeria 2.0. Unfortunately, I've sold that, but I don't do reprints. Then there is the culture. There are some festivals. From the east, you have the Yam Festival in Imbise. From Yoruba, you have the Osun Osogbo Festival. You have the Carnival, the Doba from the north.
Yeah, the Doba. Even the Arugungu Festival.
Arugungu Fishing Festival is in the book as well, you know. So there is a lot in the book. It's about 452 pages. It's quite heavy, 5.5 kg. But I'm looking forward to 3.0, but that will not be ready, God sparing my life, until another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, no. God will spare your life.
Absolutely. So in documenting all of this, which was the most challenging for you?
Oh, the most challenging? It's been fun for me because the This is what I've been doing all my life. I've never worked in my entire life.
Wow.
I've
Well,
just
this is
been
work
having
in
fun.
itself.
No, I'm just having fun because meeting people,
Wonderful.
I'm meeting you guys for the first time, even though I see you virtually every day. I'm meeting you for the first time. And in terms of challenges, what I would say is Nigeria is the most difficult place to photograph in the world.
Why?
Why is that?
Why? I can just call someone, we can demonstrate it after the show, call someone to come and photograph TVC. The guy will be arrested.
Okay, okay, okay. I see where you're coming from.
You know, so
Okay.
you take out your camera to photograph, and behold, I've been locked up several times. I've been arrested several times, just doing my daily job to promote. Because what do I want to do with a camera? The moment you see a camera, someone taking pictures with the camera, they mean no harm. We have mobile phones. You can do more damage.
Exactly.
Than
There are
cameras,
lots
you
of hidden cameras if
All
anyone
over the
wants to
place.
investigate anything
Absolutely.
and all of that. But however, just for the records, when anybody who comes to film TVC is always allowed. We have very beautiful sceneries
Absolutely,
here that we
that
can
is what
even
I do.
contribute in your book.
Yes, I'm
In the
working on a
3.0.
book. I'm working on a book on Lagos State at the moment.
Great.
I have one out, a very smaller version of it, which is out already. But there is a comprehensive one on Lagos State, and there's no way we shouldn't have TVC in it.
Absolutely.
Great.
It should be
This-
Now-
there.
th-
now
this
you're
should be an
talking.
institution.
Now you're talking.
This should be an
But
institution.
let's come back to the bigger picture, the Nigerian story. Now, we often see pictures, videos of other countries, and you be like, wow, I like to visit those countries. But when you come to Nigeria, from what you're saying, we even have much more than some of these countries, some of the small islands here and there. How do we market Nigeria enough so that the world can see who we are and what we are?
At the moment, you spend money to make money. The body or the bodies that are made to do this in Nigeria are not well funded. You have NTDC, headed by Felicia Kuka. You have NCAC, headed by Otumba Arunshewe. I'm looking forward to a day where these two bodies will be given more than enough money to be able to carry out what they're doing. Because without money, there is nothing you can. I mean, for someone like me to take this upon myself, you don't want to know what it has cost me. But I don't look at the money at the end of the day because money is relative in everything. Then again, there should be a deliberate policy by government to open up the space. If you have no business in Aso Rock, nobody knows what Aso Rock looks like. We go to Washington,
Yeah,
stand in front
that's
of
true.
White House.
That's
I've
true.
written officially 5 times to the seat of government in Nigeria for me to photograph something that belongs to the public. It's not a private residence. At best, you
That's
have
true.
8 years.
We all know what the Buckingham Palace looks
do
like.
what I'm saying.
We all know
But
what
the
White House
president
looks like.
has a photographer.
No,
Perhaps
no,
that
no. It's not
Yeah,
about
that's
president having that's different. That's for the president. That's for the president.
Okay.
But there are several people. If they open up, for example, open up Aso Rock, I can gladly tell you, it will take about 200 to 200 people working full time, not being paid by government, but for themselves. People wants to come. They have their
They'll
photographs.
tell you
taken.
security reasons.
Yeah.
In fact, the moment you step into the 3-arm zone, you see the
So-
atmosphere has changed.
There's even signs there, no
We have to-
photographs.
Exactly. Well, Dayo, there's so much we can talk about, but time will not always permit us to talk, you know, but however, it's always good to have you around. Thank you very much for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're watching TVC Breakfast. It is said that a picture is worth more than 1,000 words.
Now, the art of documentary photography is one that aims to chronicle events or environments relevant to history and historical events. Our guest today, Dayo Adedayo, is a British-trained documentary photographer who has done a lot in capturing images of Nigeria going around the country across its local governments in more than a decade.
He has captured deserts, beautiful landscapes, springs, rivers, and from his archives of more than 4 million images, you can find any picture of Nigeria you want. He is credited with the pictures of Nigeria on the e-passport pages, as well as the picture of the 100 Naira note produced in 2014 to celebrate the centenary anniversary.
Now, he was the official photographer for the event, and he has 9 books about Nigeria. We view Nigeria from the lens of Dayo Adedayo.
Beautiful landscapes, beautiful pictures. We have with us in the studio British-trained documentary photographer, cultural anthropologist, and author Dayo Adedayo. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Great.
Yes.
Thank
Now,
you.
this is one of your books, obviously.
Two of my books.
Oh, two, sorry.
Okay, yeah.
To say, Tour Nigeria and Lagos State, the Center of Excellence, a visual portrait by you. And from this books, one can see that you put in so much effort, so much work has been done here now. How lucrative or how profitable has this been for you?
In terms of money, money is relative. I wouldn't say it's lucrative or profitable because photographers themselves don't actually make money.
Really?
Yeah, no.
So why are they still in business?
It's a labor of love. The richest photographer in Nigeria, actually, and he's not a photographer, but the richest, is Otumba Adele Momodu.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So photographers don't make money. But what we have, personally for me, what I have is more than the GDP of Nigeria. Why? I've captured yesterday. You can't capture yesterday because I've captured moments and time, and it's gone forever. Just imagine the pictures in the archives of Nigeria. I have to start with Jonathan Dagogo, the first photographer in Nigeria, down to Billy Rose, Jackie Phillips, contemporary Cornelius Oyemade, Sumi Smart Co, down to the young generation of Bayo Mobori, Demola Olaniran, you know, and their likes. It's much than money because we're still reading Shakespeare today. Chinua Achebe is dead. We're still reading his book. So if this world is to be in existence in another 1 million years, people will see my work. And that to me is worth more than money.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, talk to us. You've mentioned names of a few persons who have made their marks in different. You are one of those. Well, there are young people out there, especially even right now, who may be watching you on TV right now, who want to be like you, who are inspired by what you have done. In fact, sometimes they've seen some of these pictures, they don't know who is the person or who was the force behind them. Now, how do you inspire young people? What's that deliberate thing you're doing to ensure that you leave a mark in people?
The first thing is I've got lots of younger generation under my wings, and what I usually tell them is 3 things you have to do. 1 is education, the second is education, and the third is education. Whatever you do in life, you need education. 2 is I love to be under the radar, because this generation that we have in Nigeria seems to believe in bling, 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 bling. And once you're in the media space, they're thinking it's something else, probably because of money. But it goes beyond that. You just have to persevere. If you're looking for money, this is not the best profession to be in. You better go into oil and gas to make your money, or you go into trading. But photography goes beyond that because it's something that got to do with the heart. If 1 million photographers are to be here today to photograph us, you're going to have 1 million pictures because what someone is seeing is different from the other one. So to me, it's more of perseverance. Take your time. And we were not here like this today. We were born, we cannot even say, oh, I'm hungry. You know, at a point we started crawling, walking, primary, secondary, tertiary, and that's the way life is. If one goes before the other, there'll be a problem.
Now, one aspect that the government has been looking at is diversification, and this, you're marketing the country, especially in the areas of tourism. How can the government cash in on this to ensure or build up its foreign direct investment, so to speak?
The truth of the matter is, tourism is the largest employer of labor anywhere in the world. We still haven't gone into that. Why? Because we are getting royalties every month. And there is no local government, let me break it down, there is no local government in Nigeria who hasn't got a festival in their local government. Now bring it to state. I mentioned earlier on the greatest man-made monument in this world, 10 times greater than the Great Wall of China that we all knew, is in Edo State. Queen of Sheba was buried in Ogun State. Ogun State is the Mecca and Jerusalem of Nigeria put together, whereas my people are paying millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, every year to go to Jerusalem. Whereas if you just go to Ogun State, Queen of Sheba was buried in Ogun State. Shugmo Eredo, which was believed was dug by the Queen of Sheba, carbon dated over 2,000 years ago in Lagos State, right? And in Ogun State, you have all the religious headquarters. So every month, there's over 1 million people trooping in Ogun State for religious tourism. Because you go to the camp, you've got the Muslims going there as well, every blessed month. Let's put that aside. The most beautiful place in Nigeria to visit is the Mambila Plateau.
Oh, yeah. We talked about the Mambila Plateau.
The most
in
beautiful.
Taraba State.
Taraba State should be the richest state in Nigeria. Put that aside. People go to Dubai on desert safari. Yobe, Borno, Jigawa, as far as the high school see, are just desert. But what does the government need to do? They need to put money where their mouth is. i.e., fund NTDC, fund NCAC. By funding these two bodies, they will be able to have money to market Nigeria. In November next month, the World Travel Market is coming on in London. I'm sure, I might not be right, but I'm sure Nigeria is not going to be there. So what are we marketing? We just wait for the oil majors. And oil is becoming a wasted asset because a lot of countries, in another 10, 20 years, they will not be using fossil fuel anymore. So what are we going to do with our oil? Meanwhile, we have all these structures. They were here before us. They're going to be here after us. And it is in their natural state. For me personally, I do not see all the negatives in Nigeria. Because when you think negatively, when you talk negatively, you always have a negative vibes. Wow. So, Nigeria is ripe and ready for tourism, not just because of money, but because we are the largest black nation on earth.
Okay, so much to talk. We can't finish
Are there still
talking
places
about
you want to
Nigeria.
visit quickly in Nigeria?
Yeah. There are several places I still want to go to. I want to explore the northwest more of Nigeria. Then 2 waterfalls were just recently discovered in Osun State.
Yes.
I want to explore that as well.
2
and
waterfalls.
all the caves in the southeastern part of Nigeria.
Wow.
The popular Ogbunike cave.
Now, Ogbunike is popular,
right.
but
We
the best cave in Nigeria, as at today, is Ogbauku.
Oh,
Ogbauku
wow.
Cave. Not far away from Ogbunike.
Dayo Adedayo. You have the archive all in your.
Mike,
thank you so much.
This is for you, actually.
Oh, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Straight from Dayo. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you very much.
So you can see more of Nigeria.
I have
there.
Nigeria here now, the whole of Nigeria. Thank you very much,
Thank
Dayo.
you.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right.
All right.